All right, so tagging shoes. That's what we're going to be talking about this time. Shoes can be a little bit tricky because you want to make sure that the pairs stay together or else they can't be sold. And tags get lost very easily in those shoe tubs. So usually we have tubs like this. And on the ends are the sizes of the shoes, and so all the shoes are inside that are that size. So people are going to be going like this in the cell and picking up this and picking up these. You've got to make sure that your shoes stay together, that the tags stay connected, or else they don't get sold, and that's a bummer when that happens. We do, just so you know, throughout the cell when we have tags that show up, people pick them up or bring them up to the front, or they get items that don't have tags on them, whether it's clothing or toys or shoes or whatever. We keep all those things at the front. And throughout the cell, we are continually going through the tubs, trying to match tags back up with their missing items so that the majority of your stuff gets sold, if not all of it. So that's something you want to help us with. Tag well. Make sure that your shoes and other items are securely fastened, as they would say on an airplane, so that the flight turns out well. So anyways, I wanted to focus on a few samples of shoes. Sometimes you have shoes that don't really have a way to connect them together. Ziploc bags are a great way to make sure that they stay together at all times. And again, you can put the tags on the inside of the bags now. You don't always have to put them on the outside because we don't take them off anymore. So doing them like this is very helpful. Here's another pair of shoes. It would be very hard to connect these to make sure that they stay together, so a bag is a great option for that. Again, making sure your tags are clearly seen. Okay, here's another bag situation. Here's the itty bitty ones, and in a nice little cute bag, but they're secure and together. Okay, some other options are zip ties. We use zip ties all the time. And you can buy these oh so inexpensive at Harbor Freight. Okay, you can get a whole big old bundle for $1, and it's well worth the dollar spent because bam, it's secure. Zip ties are not going to come apart. Okay, so you can be sure that they're done. So flip-flops, but even sandals can be done like that, and other shoes that have holes, you know, where you can put them in. Sometimes they have little loops at the back of them like this, and you can zip tie those as well. Or even in tennis shoes, when you where they put the laces, the little holes, you can even zip tie in those areas. Okay, and those are not coming apart. Another way to do shoes is to tie them with the strings. Now you're going to have to make sure that they stay tied well and tight, but that is a good way to keep them together without having to buy big old Ziploc bags that cost a lot of money. Okay, and see, tags are clearly seen. Okay, so you want to make sure that the prices are easy to find, because when people are going through those tubs, they don't want to take the time to say, how much is this, and look for the tag. Okay, so tag them well so that they stay like that. All right, another way to put tags on when it's kind of hard to put them like on flip-flops or something, you can always use our handy dandy saran wrap roller and wrap them up with that. And so that's a handy, inexpensive way to do it. Sometimes you can just do it on one pair of one of the pair of shoes to get it done. Now, remember, athletic shoes are definitely included. Something we want you to be aware of, though, we don't want this all gunked up with mud, because that makes all the other shoes gunked up with mud. All right, so let's make sure that they have very little, if at all, none of the dirt on them. I know it's hard to get them spotless because, hello, they're used, right? But we can minimize that greatly. Okay, so, but don't forget to put your athletic shoes in there. Okay, also another thing about tying your shoes together, try not to do them like this, because they get caught under other shoes and it's hard to pull them out and it just gets messy. Okay, so when you're going to tie shoes together, you want to get them as close together as possible using both laces from both pairs of shoes, and tying them as close together as possible like this. Okay, and I usually just tie them in a tight bow. Sometimes I double knot it if it seems like it's probably going to come apart. Let me do this down here. Ta-da! Done! They're not coming apart. All right, now I wanted to give some examples of shoe conditions that you want to look for that are not accepted at the sale, that we will have to reject at check-in. So just look over your shoes in detail before you bring them. You need to make sure that there is tread on your shoes. Here's a good one. See, the tread's pretty much gone on that. All right, and also here there's a lot of wear and tear on the sandals. They just look too beat up. All right, there's a sample there. Here's another shoe. Can you see this right here? See how this is all worn? See the zipper, the Velcro here? The toes are worn out. We don't want to sell those. So even though the bottoms are still good, these would be great to donate and let somebody to still get some wear and tear out of them, but we will not be accepting these at the sale, okay? These have had seen their better days. Okay, you can just see they're dingy, they're old, they've been worn and worn and worn. And let me tell you, 4 of my girls have worn these. So yes, they've been worn, but they're not acceptable to put into the sale. All right, so be attentive to that. These boots look great, don't they? Yeah, nice, you know, hefty boots. You use that on the farm, but looky here. Cha-ching, can you see that? And turn it on the side. Cha-ching, see that? Cannot sell these at the sale. They will not work. But if you do have boots to bring to the sale and they don't have those defects, these little loops things, these boot straps, great to zip tie those. And those hold together very well. So just a tip on that. Anything else about shoes, Hope, that you would say?
Those pink Crocs.
Oh, yes. Let me go dig in. So another thing that you can do on your shoes is obviously, where did they go? Okay. There we go. Is when you have shoes, obviously our kids have been wearing them, right? And so they get dirty, okay? Don't bring them to the sale like this. Don't worry, we're gonna clean them. But we wanted to show you, see all this dirtiness right here? That can be very easily cleaned with a wipey, with a toothbrush and some water, and they can be very nicely and easily cleaned. So Gracie's gonna take care of that for us. And they will be then sellable and in a much better condition. So just be aware of that. We want our items, as our logo says, to be gently used items, and they need to look that way, okay? So this does not look gently used. But I will say, I bought this at the children's sale years and years ago, and they have lasted our family a long time. So you can get some great deals and great brands. That's something else on your tags. Now that we're demonstrating some of the shoes, and we'll be demonstrating some clothes in a little while about tagging, you want to make sure to put the brand name on there. Like these are Stride Rights or Speedo or Nike or Fila's or any of those. Make sure you put the brand name first, then put a description of what they are, because if the tags do get lost and there's a good description, Stride Right, pink tennis shoes, okay, we're going to be better able to match that. And don't forget to put the size, okay, because we won't know where they go, and it takes a lot longer for our volunteers to put them where they're supposed to go when we don't know what size they are. So make sure you fill in all the fields on the computer when you're getting your tags ready, and they will look great. All right, so here we go. Ta-da! So much better. Of course, they're not perfect, they're not new, they're not coming from the store, but it definitely looks more presentable than it did. All right, so there's tagging shoes.